Let's recite together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the sublime, the victorious, and the totally self-enlightened one. Okay, welcome everyone. Today we're going to continue with the second part of the Paṭicca-samuppāda. And just as a revision, we will go through very quickly the links that we have already seen last week. And the first one being avijja paccaya sankhara. Because there is ignorance as conditioned, karma formations arise. So last week we have already seen a little bit more in details. What does it mean by avijja and what does it mean by sankhara, right? So avijja, in short, is not knowing reality as it is. So last week we have seen that there is one part that is saying that the not understanding the five aggregates of the past, or the five aggregates of the future, or the five aggregates of the present and future. And then Edith asked the question of why is it divided into these three groups, and why is there not a present, not a category for not understanding the present, right? So I have asked again my teacher about that, and then he said that because it is possible that someone could understand the past and not understand the future, and he could understand the future and not understand the past, or a person can not understand both. Therefore, it is divided into these three categories. Now, we'll give an example for easy understanding. You know that there are sometimes someone remember their past lives, right? So sometimes some people, when they are like small children, then they remember what happened in their past life. So say a person like that, he might know about the five aggregate of the past, how he or she came to be in this life, right? But this person might, in this lifetime, have a wrong view of annihilation. So he or she might think that after this life, then there is nothing anymore. And this is the last one. And so in that case, then it could be an example of a person who who knows about the five aggregate of the past, but not understanding the five aggregate of the future. So that is like an example for that. Now, there might be a person who thinks that I'm created by Brahma. So clearly, this person did not understand about the five aggregate of the past, how it came to be in this lifetime. But this person might understand or might know that, oh, in the future, if I do good, if I do bad, then some result is going to be happen, and I might have a better life, or I might have a not so good life because of my own action. So this person might understand about the five aggregate of the future, but the understanding of the past is not the correct one. So that is the case of not understanding the past, but understanding the future, right? So some people might not understanding both. So therefore, it is separated into this category. Now, as to why there is no category of the present, not understanding the five aggregate of the present, that's because Sayadaw said, if we understand the five aggregate of the present correctly and clearly, we will have been enlightened already. Now, so if we are not enlightened yet, therefore, that means that we do not understand the reality of five aggregates of the present yet, right? So therefore, obviously, it is included in avijja. It is included in ignorance. So it is not necessary to have another category of that in the ignorance, therefore. Is that clear, Edith? Okay. All right. So that was about the question from the last week. So we have talked about what the avijja is, the not understanding of the aggregates, the not understanding of the Four Noble Truths, and in short, not understanding reality as it is. No. So because we still have this kind of ignorance, it is still there, it's not uprooted. Therefore, we do a lot of different kinds of sankhara, different karma, wholesome and unwholesome. Yeah. Now we have also talked about this, what this sankhara is briefly last week. The sankhara can be divided into two kinds of classification, but of the same thing. So sankhara here means karma, means our action, also we're planting seeds that is going to give result in the future, whether they are wholesome or unwholesome. So if we divide them according to doors, then we can see that our actions can be divided into kaya sankhara, or kusala or akusala actions that are performed through the body door, or vaji sankhara, all kusala and akusala actions performed through the verbal door, and mano sankhara, or kusala or akusala and even jhanas that are performed through the mind door. So here in this category, in these three categories, it includes all kinds of actions, wholesome and unwholesome, performed through the three doors. And these actions can also be classified in a different way according to their quality. So in another classification, we can say sankhara is divided into punya-abhi sankhara, punya, merit, abhi sankhara, actions. So all karma which are kusala, including the 5 rupa jhana here, including 5 rupa jhana. So first, we classified the wholesome meritorious action into one group. Then the next one will be punya-abhi sankhara, non-meritorious action. So that means all akusala action. And the third group is called the anenjabhi sankhara. Anenjabhi means unshakable or very collected and very calm, like that. So that those are the 4 arupavachara jhanas. So in that case, again, all kinds of actions are being included here, but they are just classified in a different way, by way of the quality or by way of door. Okay, so that was sankhara, what is meant by sankhara. Okay, so first link, avijja paccaya sankhara sambhavanti. Because there is ignorance as a conditioned sankhara, all kinds of karma arise. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is just a revision of what we have already saw last week. Sankhara paccaya vijnanam. Because there is karma as conditioned, consciousness arise. So since we do all kinds of wholesome deeds and unwholesome deeds, then result is bound to happen, no? Because we already planted the seeds. So because of that, because we have karma as a conditioned, consciousness arise. Now, this consciousness, we mentioned last week that they can be divided into 2 periods of time. During Paṭisandhi time, it will be the Paṭisandhi citta, the rebirth consciousness during rebirth time. But it can also be other kinds of resultant consciousness during lifetime, Pawati time. So all these kind of consciousness are meant by vijnana here. Okay, so because we do karma, then resultant consciousness will arise. Then after that, what happened? Vijnana paccaya nama rupam. Because there is consciousness as conditioned, cetasika and metta arise. Last week, we have also talked about, depending on the type of being, this nama rupa, this link, we can understand it in different way. For the arupa beings, it will be only vijnana paccaya nama. And for the asanyasata, the being who does not have any mind, only metta, then it will be vijnana paccaya rupa only. But for 5 aggregate beings, like us, human, that will be vijnana paccaya nama and rupa. So this nama here refers to cetasika, and rupa refers to kamaja rupa, or sometimes chittaja rupa as well. So vijnana, because there is consciousness, resultant consciousness as conditioned, and nama and rupa, which is consciousness, and those rupa that are associated, they will arise. Okay, so, and after that, what happened? Nama rupa paccaya salayatanam. Because there is mind and matter as conditioned, 6 bases or the 6th base arise. So this is where we are going to start today. No, this is new content. Okay, so last week we talked about this nama and rupa, and today we're going to start with the 6 bases and the 6th base. Okay, what are they? In last chapter, we have already saw the 6 bases, right? The ayatana. So we have seen that there are 12 bases, ayatana, but here we are mostly concerned with the internal bases, because the Paṭicca-samuppāda are more related, pertained to beings, no living beings. So with here, we take this, the 6 bases. Okay. Now the 6 bases, the first 5 are the pasada rupa, no, the sensitivity. So we have eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body sensitivity. And mind, this mind-based, what is it? Still remember, mind-based here are manayatana, are all chittas, no? Are all chittas. It means all chittas. Now, although it means all chittas, sometimes in Sutanta method or in this Paṭicca-samuppāda, we can also only take the 32 Lokiya Vipaka chitta. So only the resultant consciousness, mundane resulting consciousness, which belongs to effects. No? So we can take it 2 ways here. Either in Abhidhamma way, we take all the all chittas, or we can also take only Lokiya Vipaka chittas as the base here. Okay, so now how does this cetasikas or the rupa condition these 6 bases? Here in this link is a little bit more detailed, a little bit more complicated. If we want to know things in detail, we need to find out exactly which cetasika condition which base and how, etc. No? So let's again look at the nama rupa side. From nama rupa side, depending on the being, it can be only cetasika, it can be only rupa, and it can be nama and rupa again, no? But here, since it will be very complex or a lot of things to deal with if we are looking at everything, so for the moment, we will only consider human being, 5 aggregates, or the 5 aggregate beings, so beings that have both nama and rupa. Okay, so in this case, for human, let's say, we take nama and rupa both. And what does this cetasika means? Well, this cetasika are the 52 kinds of cetasika in the case of 5 aggregate beings. And how about this rupa? This rupa, in general sense, here we will take the 4 primary elements, and the 6 base matter, which are the eye base, ear base, nose base, tongue base, body base, and heart base. Those are the sensitive matter, as well as jivitindriya, life faculty, and nutriment. Why do we take this? That's because they are related to the kamaja rupa. Yeah, okay. So rupa here, we take this group, and nama here, we take this 52 cetasikas to be nama and rupa for here for this link for the 5 aggregate beings. Okay, so let's go back here. So these 52 cetasikas and these types of rupas, how does it relate to, or how does it condition the pasada rupa, which are the 6 bases here, or the 6 base? Now, we call 6 bases when for 5 aggregate beings, because we have 5 bases and the mind base as well. But if it is the arupa being, that will be only the 6 base. So here the salayatanam for the arupa being refer to the 6 base only, which is mind only. Yeah. So here we take for 5 aggregate being everything. Now for this link, if we want to, again, I will say it again, for us to understand it thoroughly, we also need the information or knowledge of patana. So here, we'll just give you a few examples of how to understand them, but we will not go into details yet because we have not studied the patana yet. So in this link, in general, we can understand because there is mind and matter, then beings have the 6 bases. But also we can understand it in detail by taking out different parts and seeing them in exactly what condition, what and how. Yeah. Okay. So if we want to understand in details, I'll give you an example of how do we do that. Let's take on the Paccayuppana side, the conditioned, the effect side, just the pasada rupa, in this case, the kaya pasada, the body sensitivity. So let's see if it is, if the conditioned, the effect is the pasada rupa, and here it will be the cetasikas that are related, that are associated with the patisandhi citta. Remember, during the patisandhi time, Kaya Pasada is one of the rupa that arise together at that time, no? So these cetasikas, they are related by way of sahajata, by way of connaissance, or they bond together, no, in simple English words. So they arise together. So they are related, and these ones, they support, this chitta, cetasika, Patisandhicitta supports this rupa. So they are related in this way. Then how about the rupa side? The rupa side here, we need to take the four primaries, and the jivitindriya, the life faculty, as well as the nutriment, because this rupa supports the kaya pasada, the body sensitivity to arise. And here, all the other rupas are not included in this case, because let's say eye sensitivity. The eye sensitivity do not condition the body sensitivity in any way. So here, the eye sensitivity, ear sensitivity, and so on are not included. They are not taken in this specific case, no? Okay, I'll give you another example when we try to understand this link part by part. So let's say the conditioned side, effect side. Let's take the Paṭicca-samuppāda specifically, that chitta. So what would these cetasikas be? That would be the cetasikas that is associated with the Paṭicca-samuppāda. And then they are related in which way they arise together. Again, is sahajata, connaissance, no? So the cetasika supports the chitta, chitta supports the cetasika, because they always arise together and support each other, yeah? Okay, then how about the rupa side? In the rupa side here, we will take the heart base. That's the hadaya watu, because Paṭicca-samuppāda arise based on the heart base. Hadaya, heart base, is the physical support for Paṭicca-samuppāda to arise. So in this case, that will be the cetasikas associated with Paṭicca-samuppāda and the heart base as conditioned for Paṭicca-samuppāda to arise. So in this way, we can take part by part, like part of the conditioning factors and part of the conditioned factors to see how each thing relate to each other in details. But we're not going into details into look at all these things. I just wanted to show you two examples to see how we can do this in a detailed way, taking different items in both sides, no? Okay, so here it's good enough for the understanding of a basic Paṭicca-samuppāda knowledge to understand that because beings acquired mind and matter already, so the six senses will develop, because six senses are conditioned by nama and rupa. Just like in a baby, when the baby already, the Paṭicca arise, and the baby is conceived already. So it has nama, Paṭicca-citta, it has the Paṭicca cetasika associated with the Paṭicca consciousness. It has also kamaja rupa, and because there is this nama and rupa already, then later on the eye sensitivity, the ear sensitivity, and the nose sensitivity, and all those also arise. And the body sensitivity already arose at the same time when Paṭicca arise, no? So this that they are connected, and this and also the mind, this six bases are being conditioned by nama and rupa. Okay, so in short, that we can understand it in this way, in general way. Okay, so let's go to the next link. Salayatana paccaya faso. So because we already acquired the six bases as conditioned, then contact is bound to arise. Since there are eye sensitivity, there are ear sensitivity, nose sensitivity, tongue sensitivity, body sensitivity, and the mind, then we get into contact with different objects, right? Okay, now in the bases, as I just said right now, we know that there are internal bases as well as external bases. Now, these external bases are also important because we need both for vijnana to arise. Some teachers, they take both here in this link, but here we will only focus on the internal bases because the Paṭicca-samuppāda only relates to beings, no? So external objects are not taken. But anyway, we understand that these external bases are also important for contact to arise, right? So we have the internal bases get in contact with external bases, and contact, consciousness, contact arise. Okay, now here we will also take the other link, the next link together and put them together so we can understand it in a more comprehensive way. So Salayatana Paccaya Phaso and Phassa Paccaya Vedana, that's the next link. Because there is contact as condition, mental feeling arise. Because we have the 6 bases, we get in contact with the object. Then because of contact, and Vedana arise, there are mental feeling arise. Now, let's take the eye first as an example. When there is an eye base and there are visible objects, then what happened? Eye consciousness arise, right? So Cakkayatana, the eye sensitivity, get in touch with the visible object, and then Chakku Vijnana arise here. Now, what we call phassa here, contact, is actually the phassa concomitant or associated with the 2 Chakku Vijnanas. Remember, there are 2 kinds of eye consciousness. There is akusala vipaka Chakku Vijnana, unwholesome resultant eye consciousness. That's when we get in touch with unpleasant visible object. And then there is another one, kusala vipaka Chakku Vijnana, and we have the wholesome resultant eye consciousness. That's when we get in touch with pleasant objects, right? So phassa here, what is phassa? Phassa is a cetasika, no? Cetasika that arise together with this Chakku Vijnana, with this eye consciousness when eye sensitivity and the object get into contact. So what is meant by contact here is the coming together of these 3 things: the eye sensitivity, visible object, and eye consciousness. When eye consciousness arise, what also arise together? Vedana also arise together, right? Precisely for eye consciousness, what kind of Vedana arise? Anyone remember? Upekkha, right?
Neutral feeling.
Neutral feeling. Yes, thank you. So here, it will be a neutral feeling. So when eye sensitivity get in touch with the visible object, eye consciousness arise, and together with this eye consciousness, there is phassa and there is Vedana. Now, this Vedana here, we have a name for it. Exactly in this case, it is called Chakku Samphassaja Vedana. Chakku, eye, sam, together, phassaja, contact, ja means born or arise, Vedana. So that means the Vedana born or arise of eye contact. So this Vedana, precisely in this case, Upekkha, feeling, neutral, mental neutral feeling, is the Vedana that is meant by here, Phassa Paccaya Vedana. Usually, we kind of have the tendency to understand that cause arise first and then effect arise later. And also one thing after another, and then because of this thing, another thing arise after. No, but in this case, you see, they actually all arise at the same time. Well, of course, Salayatana and the object, the eye sensitivity and object arise before eye consciousness, right? But what I'm saying is that eye consciousness here, when it arises together with phassa, and phassa arise together with Vedana. So this phassa and Vedana, they arise at the same time, but one is the main condition for the other. Yeah, so phassa is the main condition for Vedana, although they arise together. Phassa is the main condition for Vedana to arise. Okay, so in the same case, we can understand for ear consciousness. When there is the ear sensitivity, then we also have sound that they get into contact, then Sota Vijnana, ear consciousness arise together with phassa and Vedana. Again, it is a Upekkha Vedana here, no? And this Vedana here is called Sota Samphassaja Vedana. Vedana born of ear contact. So in the same way, we can understand for the 5 senses that we have also Ghana Samphassaja Vedana, Vedana born of nose contact, Jiva Samphassaja Vedana, Vedana born of tongue contact, and these 2 also, this Vedana is Upekkha Vedana, yeah? Then we also have Kaya Samphassaja Vedana, Vedana born of body contact. Now this one, Kaya Vijnana, always associate with 2 kinds of feeling, either dukkha or sukha. No? So this Vedana here will be, when it is a akusala vipaka, Kaya Vijnana, that will be dukkha feeling. If it is a kusala vipaka kaya viññāna, there will be a sukha feeling. Okay, then we also have mano samvasaja vedana. Vedana born of mind contact. That's when consciousness arises and it get in touch with the mind objects, and then a feeling also arises at that time. No, so that those are the vedana that is arise or born of mind contact. So now here we see there is another way of classifying vedana in the Paṭicca-samuppāda. So we have, again, 6 types of vedana here. Usually we classified it according to either 3 types or 5 types, yeah? So dukkha, sukha, somanassa, domanassa, and upekkha. But here we see that there is another different way of classifying the vedana according to the base. So 6 types here. Because of the contact through eye, through ear, through nose, through tongue, through body, through mind, there are also different kinds of vedana arise. So in this link, phassa paccaya vedana, this vedana refers to these 6 types of vedana, these 6 types of mental feeling that arise because of the contact of the previous link of phassa, because of contact through the 6 bases. Okay, until here, all good? Yes?
When you gave the example before this link, and you gave the example with the body, I was thinking that for the rupa part, the body sensitivity will occur as well. The body part, the body, and it didn't. Yeah, here. For the rupa, here you have the four elements. Yeah, there.
You mean why the body sensitivity is not here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's because we are looking at the conditioning factor and the conditioned factor. So here we are, the body sensitivity, the body base is the body sensitivity itself, no? So it is being taken as the effect. So we are looking what condition this effect. So if it is already in the effect side, it is not in the cause side. It is not in the conditions, because these things condition it. Condition this is the condition for this to arise, no? So therefore it is taken in the effect side.
Yeah, makes sense now. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. But this nama rupa paccaya salayatanam here, especially in these 2 cases, this is just examples of how we can look at things in a detailed way. But in this first round of studying the Paṭicca-samuppāda, we can understand in general. It's good enough to understand how mind and matter is a condition for the 6 bases to arise. So if in like taking out part by part, we're studying it in details, no? So this is just an example of how we can do that later on if we are interested, right? Okay, so all good?
Sonny, can you hear me?
Yes, Claudia, yes.
I was asking something about the slide after this one.
After this one, okay.
So, like, I don't know if I understand properly this one, but you're saying that because of the heart functioning, then this one is a cause for the mind to arise?
No, not the heart functioning, but heart, the Hadaya Watu, in previous chapter where we have studied that all kinds of chitta must, well, for 5 aggregate being, always based on some kind of matter, some kinds of physical matter for it to arise, right? So for, let's say for eye consciousness to arise, eye consciousness is based on eye sensitivity. Without eye sensitivity, eye consciousness cannot arise, yeah? So for Patisandhi chitta, the base, the physical matter, the base for the mind for this Patisandhi chitta and other kinds of chittas other than the 5 senses to arise is the heart base, the Hadaya Watu. So therefore, this not exactly the heart organ, but it's called the Hadaya Watu, the heart base, which the teachers, they say that it is the blood that runs in the heart area when we are already born as a human, no? But imagine in the Patisandhi chitta, it cannot be the heart organ because it has not yet developed in the tiny cell that is just developing. That is just a splitting to become the baby. So, but this kind of metta, Hadaya Watu, this kind of metta is already arose at that time together with the Patisandhicitta. And that metta is the base for all kinds of mind other than the five sense consciousness to arise. So that metta conditioned this Patisandhicitta to arise because it's a base for it to arise. Is that clear?
Not really, but it's not a problem.
Okay, no worries. This is a lot of details, and so we just understand for this link at the moment. It's good enough to understand that because there is mind and matter, and then that this it conditions for the six bases to arise. To understand things in details, we must have content of the previous chapters quite familiar in the mind. So when we have those information clear, then it will be easier to understand. But never mind, this is just an example of how to understand in detail. So for the moment, we can leave it as long as we understand that there is a relation that because there is mind and matter, then the six bases arise. Until there, okay, Claudia?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so how about the others? All good? Yeah, okay. So let's continue. Now we've finished already with Salayatana Paccaya Phaso. And here the important thing to understand for the Salayatana Paccaya Phaso and Phassa Paccaya Vedana here, these two links, is we have to understand that although one is the main condition for the other to arise, they arise together at the same time. This Phassa and the Vedana, it arise at the same time because Phassa and Vedana, they arise together with the Chakku Vijnana, no? Okay, so this is just an interesting thing here. And then we have also seen that this Vedana here, there is another type of another way of classifying them according to the different base. So they are the Vedana born of the different kinds of contact, born of eye contact, ear contact, etc., and mind contact. Okay, so these are the six types of Vedana that we're talking about. Okay, so let's go to the next link. After Phassa Paccaya Vedana, because of there is contact as conditioned, mental feeling arise. Let's go to the next one. Vedana Paccaya Tanha. Because there is mental feeling as conditioned, craving arise. Now, this is easy to understand. Because of Vedana, because of the pleasant feeling, because of the unpleasant feeling, we act, no? Now, when we get into contact with different objects, sometimes pleasant, if it is pleasant, then we feel we like it and then we want more. Then tanha can arise, right? Or if we encounter some unpleasant feeling, we don't like it, we want it to be different, we want something else. So very clearly, Vedana Paccaya Tanha, because of mental feeling and craving arise. Okay, so this craving arise because of the Vedana that arise associated with the six sense bases. But at the same time, we have to know that this is not a must, because sometimes tanha can also not arise, no? So when tanha do not arise, that is the practice, that is the exit to the Paṭicca-samuppāda, which we will talk about later when we talk about the all the 12 links together and in the Bhava Chakra, in the wheel of life, yeah? So we'll leave that now. We will now first look at this tanha. What does it mean by tanha here? Vedana Paccaya Tanha. Tanha is in ultimate reality the Lobha Cetasika, and as previously we have already seen that it is divided into Kama Tanha, Bhava Tanha, and Vibhava Tanha. So that's craving for sense pleasure, sensual pleasures, the craving for a Brahma life, or the craving accompanied by the wrong view of eternalism, thinking that things are forever and things are permanent, right? So this is tanha together with lobha together with ditti, with wrong view, yeah? Then we also have vibhava tanha, the craving accompanied by the wrong view of annihilation, yeah? Or simply the attachment towards those kinds of idea. Okay, so we have seen that there are these three different kinds of tanha here in the lobha. But there is another interesting thing that I like to share with you here. Have you ever heard about the 108 types of tanha? 108 types of different kinds of attachment or craving? Well, some of you might have heard it already, or you might have, you know it already, or some of you may encounter it later in different readings or in different Dhamma talks, right? So here I was thinking that it could be interesting to take a look of what are the 108 types of tanha, of craving, no? How come there are so many, no? So how are they counted? Like, which are the 108 types? So let's take a look. Now we know that there are 6 kinds of objects depending on the 6 bases, right? So very easily we can understand that we can have 6 types of different tanha, these 6 types of different craving according to the 6 types of objects. So for example, we can have rupa tanha, sada tanha, gandha tanha, rasa tanha, pottabha tanha, and dhamma tanha. So in English, it will be the craving or attachment towards visible object, or towards sound, smell, taste, touch, and Dhamma. Now, this Dhamma here does not mean the Buddha's teaching. This Dhamma is the mental object, no? So as a reminder, let's just take a look of what the Dhamma object was. We have already seen them before. So there are 6 kinds of Dhamma objects, mind objects. First one is the sensitive matter, the pasada rupa, where we can also get attached to the pasada rupa, the sensitivity itself. So like we like the eye sensitivity. Without eye, we cannot see. That we are attached to this, our eye sensitivity, ear sensitivity, smell and taste. Like during COVID time, some people lost their sense of smell, and it is so much suffering, no? So we are sometimes we can also attach to our own sensitive matters. So this is one kind of Dhamma object, mental object. Now, there are also the other 16 types of subtle matters, which cannot be taken by the senses, but can be understood by the mind. So these 16 subtle matters are also mind objects. Then we also have other types of chittas, all types of chittas, as well as cetasikas, and as well as nibbana, and also concepts. So here, these are all the objects that can be taken by the mind, by different kinds of consciousness other than the 5 sense consciousness. Now here, since we are talking about tanha, we are talking about different kinds of craving, here we have to exclude nibbana, because nibbana is out of reach of craving, right? Lobha, cetasika, lobha cannot take nibbana as object. Therefore, lobha associated with the akusala citta cannot take nibbana as object. But sometimes you may say that, yes, why not? And we can say that what we crave for with nibbana, we want to attain nibbana, that's taking nibbana as object. But that is only the concept of nibbana. No, that's not the real nibbana. No, so the real nibbana can only be taken by the gotrabu, the kusala gotrabu citta, or the magga and phala citta. No, the object of the lokutara cittas. So here, if we talk about cravings, we have to take away nibbana. Okay, so we come back here. So here we understand that we have 6 types of lobha, 6 types of tanha, according to the 6 objects. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's easy to understand. Then how does it become 108? Let's see. We have talked about kama tanha, bhava tanha, and vibhava tanha, no? So these 6 of them can actually be divided under each of these groups. So let's say rupa tanha can be one type of kama tanha, sada can be kama tanha, gana tanha can be kama tanha, related to the senses, or it can also be bhava tanha, it can also be vibhava tanha. So how so? Let's look at an example. Let's take rupa tanha. Let's take the craving or the attachment towards a visible object as an example to see how it can be in the category of craving for sense desire or craving for or craving associated with these two types of different wrong view. Now, when we see something with attachment, we can just only enjoy, like we looked at this scenery. Wow, this sunset, it's so amazing. It's so beautiful, no? So we can have attachment. Attachment can arise by way of enjoying the sense object. Yeah, so we like the view, we like it, and we are attached to it in terms of wanting to enjoy it. So that is, in this case, it will be called a kama rupa tanha. That means attachment that is, oops, sorry, I just go back here. That means we are taking the visible object by way of enjoying it through the senses, right? So rupa here, this rupa is the visible object. Kama is the sense desire, and tanha, no, sense desire. So craving for visible object by way of sense enjoyment. So this is how rupa tanha can be kama and kama tanha. Okay, so how about bhava tanha? When, let's say, when the person have an attachment accompanied by the wrong view that one is permanent or everything is permanent. So let's say I'm looking at this sunset, very nice sunset, and I feel that I have this idea of I am also permanent, and these things are also permanent, and I will live on and continue. Tomorrow I'm going to see this sunset again, and this is the same sunset. Everything is permanent. So if we have this kind of idea, that would be an attachment together with this bhava of this eternalism, with this wrong view. So it is called bhava rupa tanha here. So that is how a rupa tanha can also be together with wrong view of eternalism. Okay, how about the last one? Same case, if the person is looking at this beautiful view, visible object, but with the wrong view that everything is annihilated at death. So there is nothing anymore after death. So this like this now, I'm attached to this, but after that, there is nothing anymore. So it can be an attachment together with this wrong view of annihilation. So vibhava is called vibhava rupa tanha here. So that's how the craving or attachment towards visible object can be associated with this wrong view. So in this case, we can understand also for the other senses, to sound, smell, taste, and touch, and also mind objects, no? So in this case, we have 6 kinds of different craving or attachment divided according to the objects, times 3 times. Then when it is kama tanha, when it is bhava tanha, or when it is vibhava tanha, then here we have 18 types of tanha, right? Okay, now 18 types to from 18 to 108, still we have a long way to go now. So let's see how it gets into more different categories. Okay, so we have 18 types now here. And these 18 types can sometimes be internal or it can be external. How so? Let's take again rupa tanha as an example. Sometimes this rupa tanha, the attachment or craving for a visible object can be internal. We can like how we look. It can be like how our own rupa, or how visible, like we look at the mirror and then think, oh, how beautiful, how lovely. So this is internal. Or sometimes this rupa tanha can be external. We can feel, oh, this person, how handsome, no? So that is then external, the visible object, then that rupa is outside, is external, no? So that can be a rupa tanha external. It can also be, of course, a being, but it can also be external things as well. Oh, how nice, how beautiful, this and that. So this rupa tanha, this craving towards visible object can be internal, can be external. Now let's just take one more example, sada tanha. Sound, about sound. How can we attach to different kinds of sound, and how is it external or internal? When we listen to music, listen to a concert, listen to sounds, those when we are attached to those, then that can be external sound. We're craving for that. Or it can also be an internal sound. We can also be attached to my own voice or my own sound, or how beautiful I sing or how nice. No? So that's how it can be internal and external. So in the same way, we can understand for the 6 types of different, the 6 bases in the same way. So these 18 types of tanha can further be multiplied by 2, internal and external, and that makes it 36 types of tanha so far. Okay. Now these 36 types of tanha, yes, Mila? Or Edith?
Sorry. So I'm still puzzled about bhava tanha and vibhava tanha being connected to rupa, a visible object. I want to ask, so is it like when you're looking at the beautiful object, then you still at the same time have to have that view, right?
That view can be in the background, because sometimes when we are looking at something, we are attached to that, but we are not thinking about the eternalism, or we are not thinking about annihilation. It can be, we can be at the same time thinking about that, but sometimes some people have a very strong idea or belief or attached to this kind of view, no? So it is in the background already. So this person have this view and then it has attachment. So therefore, when whatever he or she sees, then she sees it according to this kind of view that is already in the mind, right?
Yeah, so I guess I understand bhava tanha, that they think, oh, I'm going to experience this beautiful, lovely sunset every day, or this person every day, or etc. So, but I don't understand how annihilism or that is it because like they think if I die there will be no sunset for me or for anyone else, or what? I didn't get.
It's like that. For example, let's say when a person has this annihilation view, then he or she has the idea that at death everything is finished, right? So there is nothing anymore. So while I can enjoy the sunset, I should enjoy it right now. Yeah. So because at death there is nothing, then he or she has this kind of idea. So I should eat as much as I want. I should listen to music, or I should enjoy, or I should do whatever I want to do, because this is it. No, like annihilation. After that, there's nothing anymore. So those kind of attachment that is associated with this kind of view is called the craving or attachment that is associated with the vibhava tanha or the annihilation view.
That makes sense. So it's for themselves, basically.
For a person, yes. Or there can also be person that thinks that if he or she dies, then also the sunset is gone for everyone. Maybe someone can think like that too.
That too? Okay, that's complicated. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so let's continue. So far we have seen that there are 36 kinds of tanha, different tanha. Now remember, it does not mean that everyone has all of that, but we are talking about it is possible that there are these 108 types of craving or attachment is possible. It does not mean that everyone has the 108 types, yeah? So we are just looking at what kinds of cravings and attachment are possible. Okay, so the 36 types can, again, be of a different category. It can be of the past, it can be of the present, and it can be of the future. So let's take again Rupa Tanha as an example. Rupa Tanha. Have you heard about someone or ourselves? We think that, oh, I used to look so nice. When I was young, I am so beautiful and this or that, no? So we can be attached to the visible object that belongs to the past. And so that is also one type of Rupa Tanha that is associated with the past. And of course, we can be attached to the present object, something we're looking at right now, and we are attached to it. That's so nice. Okay. Or we can also be attached to something that is not there yet. How? I'm going to travel, I'm going to Paris. I'm already imagining the view there that I'm going to look at. It is going to be so beautiful. It's going to be so nice when I arrive there, and when I'm going to look at that. No, so before it arrives, no, it does not arise yet. We're not there yet, but we already attached to that visible object that is going to be in the future. So that's how it is possible for Rupa Tanha also to be in the future, associated with the future. So in the same way, we understand for the 6 types of different object for the past, present, and the future. So 36 times 3, that becomes the 108 types of possible craving or tanha here. Okay, right. So whenever you read or you hear about the 108 types of tanha, then we understand that it refers to the different objects in the different way, whether it's associated with wrong view or not, and then external, internal, which time frame, past, present, or future. Because of that, then it makes this 108 types of possibility. Yes, Bruce?
Yes, I have a question. I've checked on that 108 types of craving. I just put something in the chat, a copy of a spreadsheet I had, but it seems like there's 2 different ways of describing the 108 types. One of them seems to be in the Visuddhimagga, which seems to agree with the way you're saying, and another one is in the Anaguttara Nikaya. And they don't seem to agree. I don't know if there's any why that is.
I will have to look at your reference before I can say that. So maybe we can look at that later.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bruce. Okay. All right. So far, that's how we get the 108 types of tanha. This is just for our knowledge. And how, when we listen to these 108, what are they? Okay. So let's go back to this lane, the Vedana Paccaya tanha. Because there is mental feeling as conditioned, this 108 types of possibility of tanha can arise. Because we like it, because of the feeling, because we like it, because we don't like it, because we feel pleasant, because we feel unpleasant, we want something more or we want something else, then this kind of craving can arise. So Vedana, mental feeling, are conditioned for these 108 types of tanha to arise. Okay, so let's go to the next link. Tanha paccaya upadanam. Because there is craving as conditioned, grasping arise. When lobha becomes stronger and stronger, it reaches the stage of upadana. Upadana is clinging or grasping. No? So previously we have, when we studied in chapter 7, and then when we look at upadana, the example given there is like a snake swallowing a mouse. No? Once the snake has taken the mouse in its mouth, it will not let it go again. It will just cling or grabs it very strongly. No? So in the same way, when lobha reaches the stage of upadana, it cannot give up. So it will very firmly or strongly hold on to that object. And that kind of holding or grasping, clinging, is called upadana. And in chapter 7, again, we have seen that there are 4 types of upadana. And we have the clinging to sense desire, clinging to wrong view, clinging to the wrong practice, and clinging to the opinion of an atta, of a soul, of a self, right? Now in Pali, they are Kammupadana, Ditupadana, Silabatupadana, Atawadupadana. So these 4 types of clinging, right? Okay. So in ultimate realities, this upadana is, again, it is lobha together with dt as well. No, now for sense desire is purely lobha, but this wrong view is clearly with dt. Clinging to the wrong practice is also together with dt, and then clinging of the idea of an atta also, this is also with dt. So upadana here is lobha and dt also. Okay, so let's go back to the link tanha paccaya upadana. Because there is craving as condition, grasping arise. So tanha, as we see, it's also lobha and dt. Upadana, again, it is lobha and dt. So what is the difference between tanha and upadana? Now the difference is tanha is a weak lobha, and when that weak lobha becomes stronger and stronger, it becomes upadana. So the difference here is the degree, So lobha here, tanha here is weaker, and when it becomes stronger and stronger, it becomes upadana. Also, teachers also give another explanation towards the difference of tanha and upadana. They say that tanha is more longing for an object that has not yet been reached. So before obtaining something, we want something, we haven't get it yet, we want it, we have lobha, we have craving for something that we want before obtaining it. While upadana is something, is the attachment or the clinging towards something that we already got after obtaining it. So after we get it, we attach to it, right? So before getting it and after getting it, and we're attached to it. So that's the difference between tanha and upadana. Now, just to understand it a little bit more, let's see what is the opposite of tanha and upadana. That will also help us understand. The opposite of tanha is said to be the fewness of wants. So we don't want many things. So we are not, we don't have a lot of craving. So that is the opposite to tanha, fewness of wants, not wanting a lot of things. And while the opposite of upadana is contentment. We are happy with what we have. We're not wanting more. We're not attaching to things. We're just happy with what is already there. So not grasping at or attached or clung to anything. No. So these are the opposite of tanha and upadana, fewness of wants and contentment. Okay, so tanha paccaya upadana, because there is a weaker lobha. Of course, when a stronger lobha must have a weaker lobha as a condition, no? So weak lobha is the condition for a strong lobha to arise, because the lobha gets stronger and stronger. So here, tanha paccaya upadana. Okay, so that is the stronger the grasping, or the stronger the attachment, this strong attachment can only arise based on first a weak attachment or a weak desire. So that is why tanha is the condition for stronger lobha to arise. Okay, so yes, Edith?
I remember we were learning about lobha and dosa and all that, and we had that scale of like from weaker to stronger, but I didn't think that there is any difference.
Yes, in
Like
ultimate reality,
lobha.
it is just lobha. It's the same. But now we are talking about Paṭicca-samuppāda. We are using different terms. We are not using the ultimate reality term, you see, tanha and upadana, because it shows a different degree of lobha here, specifically, right? So therefore, in ultimate reality, it's just lobha, both of it. Yeah, a different degree only. But since we are talking about the Paṭicca-samuppāda here, how we get stuck in samsara, no? How we turn around and around. That's because we have weaker lobha, and then the lobha becomes strong and stronger. And because of that, now again, let's see, upadana paccaya bhavo. Because of this very strong attachment, what happened next? No, so we are explaining about the cycle of samsara. Therefore, it is separated in this way. But in ultimate reality, it's only lobha cetasika.
A weaker lobha would still result in this, no?
A weaker lobha result in bhava?
Yes.
According to the Paṭicca-samuppāda, it goes in the links goes in this way. But of course, like a weaker lobha, with weaker lobha, we still also do different kinds of actions. You can also understand it in this way. But because it is explaining how these things links to each other and how it becomes stronger and stronger, how we get stuck in the samsara, I think it is included here to make things more clear. Okay, so let's go to upadana paccaya bhavo. because there is grasping as conditioned, becoming arise. Now, last week we have also talked about this bhava. Bhava here we have to understand it in terms of karma bhava and upapati bhava. Now, karma bhava, it's only just karma. It means karma. Usually when we see this word bhava, it means existence, no? But here, this bhava in the link, it means something that caused some other things to be. So that means karma bhava here is something that caused some other thing. So our actions, let's say we plant seeds, then there will be plants, so the result is going to happen. So karma here, this bhava here, when it is meaning karma bhava, it means wholesome and unwholesome actions, all kinds of actions. Now, upapati bhava means the becoming of the 5 aggregates. So in the rebirth time, the 5 aggregates it happens again because we do all kinds of actions, good and bad. Then there is the becoming of a new patisandhi, a new birth, a new rebirth will happen. Okay, now last week, Edith also asked about bhava, upapati bhava and jati. Now, upapati bhava and jati is the same. They are the same. So the becoming of the 5 aggregate is birth, right? What is birth? Birth is the becoming of the 5 aggregate, no? So they are the same thing. So now, if they are the same thing, why is it separated again? Now, because in the Paṭicca-samuppāda, we are talking about 3 lifetimes. So later on, when we go to into the time frame, then it will become clear. But if we see this link here, in the previous link, upadana paccaya bhava, in this bhava, we have to understand we take bhava, both karma bhava and upapati bhava. So because we cling to life, we cling to existence, we cling to our idea, we do all kinds of good actions and wholesome actions and unwholesome actions. Because we do actions, then result is going to happen. Yeah, so this karma bhava, upapati bhava. Then we take in this link both. But in the next link, bhava paccaya jati, here we only take karma bhava. We don't take upapati bhava because upapati bhava is jati itself, right? Okay, so why we take both in the last link? That's because we are talking about a different lifetime. Yeah, so this will become more clear when we look at the bhava chakra and the wheel of life. We'll leave that for explanation when we look at that chart. Okay. All right, so this link, we can see that again, because we do wholesome and unwholesome actions, then there will be result of that actions. So with wholesome and unwholesome karma, then a new becoming of the 5 aggregate will arise. So because there is becoming as condition, birth arise. Okay, then with birth as a condition, what happened? Aging and death will arise, right? Now here, in last week, in the translation, I wrote old age and death, but then now I changed this word to aging because this jara is, I mean, not everyone arrived to old age, yeah, but everyone does age. Even a child that is 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 year old is also more aged than when the baby was born. Yeah, so it's aging. Everyone, all being experience aging. We might not arrive to old age, but aging is inevitable. So aging and death will surely arise. Because we are born, then there will be aging, there will be death. That's the inevitable result of birth, right? In addition to this, for a human being or 5 aggregate being, most probably we will also experience sorrow, lamentation, physical and mental pain, and despair can also come together. Although this is not a must for all beings, because Paṭicca-samuppāda describe the existence of all beings, arupa beings also, no? So for those arupa beings, they don't have physical pain, they don't experience sorrow, lamentation, and all this, then For them, that might not arise. But for us, it is most probably for a human who will experience this as well. So jati pachaya jara maranam soka paridewa dukkha domana supasaya sambhavanti. It all arise, no? Okay. Now, the degree of this sorrow and lamentation differ from beings to beings. And also, as we said last week, in life is not just always just sorrow and lamentation, no? But there are also happiness also. But this happiness is also not free from dukkha, because it is going to end. It is impermanent. So therefore, it is all included in this dukkha here, no? Okay, so let's see. So in the last part, after the 12th link, in the very last phrase of this Paṭicca-samuppāda, anuloma, the arising of the the dependent origination, it says the last phrase, Ewa metasa kewalasa dukkha kandasa samudayo hoti. There is the arising of, like in this way, that the whole mass of suffering, that is the arising of the whole mass of suffering. Okay, so this whole mass of suffering, again, include also the happiness, or sometimes something good happens in life, because they are not free from impermanence, not free from dukkha. That's why it is included in the whole mass of suffering here. Okay, so that is the anuloma, the order of arising, how things arise. Because of ignorance, we do different kinds of actions. Because we plant seeds, we do karma, then vipaka, resultant is going to happen. Because there is vipaka, resultant consciousness, then associated cetasikas and rupa will arise. Because there is mind and matter, six senses also develop. There are also six senses. With six senses, we get into contact with object. Because we get into contact with object, then there are mental feelings. Because of mental feeling, tanha arise. Because there is a weaker attachment, there is craving, the stronger attachment will develop. With stronger attachment to existence, to ideas, again, we do things, again, we plant seeds. Because of this planting of karma, again, a new rebirth, a new becoming of the five aggregate will arise. And together with this, the arising of the five aggregates, what comes? Aging, death, for sure, and also the other kinds of mental and physical suffering, sorrow, lamentation, and despair also arise, right? So that's the brief explanation of the order of arising of the dependent origination. Okay, so far until here, all good? Okay. So let's take a break here, and coming back, we will see if we have energy, or if we have time, we go to see the Paṭicca, the wheel of life, and we will go to see the different layers, or how to understand the working of samsara. But let's take a 5 minutes break first. Okay, see you in 5 minutes. Okay, welcome back, everyone. All right, how is everyone's energy? I think it's a lot of information that we have just finished a general look into what each factor mean. So far, how is everyone? Do we want to continue to the different layers, or it's already too much information? So I heard someone saying that it's a lot of overwhelming information, then it's good that we digest what we have already seen before going into more information. And how does everyone else think? I think I need time to digest, Claudia, okay? Yes, okay. So in this case, we will leave the Paṭicca for next week. Very briefly, I will just talk a little bit about this Paṭicca, what we are going to look at next week. as an introduction, but we will not go into details. So as you see here in this diagram, we can understand the Paṭicca-samuppāda not only by the 12 links, no, but these 12 links have more dimensions to it. There are different layers. So there are something that is called the vata, that is called the different rounds, that we will look at later on. And then also there are something that is called the different modes, and then there are it is also about the different time. It's about past, about present, and about the future, because the Paṭicca-samuppāda, these 12 links pertains to actually 3 lifetimes. Although we can see all these factors in one life, but it is actually talking about 3 lives. So from the past, how the past is connected to the present, and how the present is going to contribute to the future. So this is how it is divided into three different periods, the time frame of the Paṭicca-samuppāda. Also, it is going to talk about the different links, how past cause link to present effects, and how present effects links to present cause, and how the present cause links to the future effects, like that. So that's another layer. Then also we will also see where and how to break the links, because the purpose, or what we want to do, is to come out of the wheel of the samsara, come out from this turning around and around. So we also will see how and where we have to come out from this cycle. So these different layers are what we are going to look at. After we talk about this Bhavacakka next week, it will become even more clear, because when we look at the different layers, then everything will make sense. If you do not have any questions, then we will finish a little bit earlier. Okay, thank you so much everyone for joining, and let's dedicate our merits for the attainment of Magga and Phala, and also we share merits to all beings. Itam no punyam Magga Phala sa pacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam Magga Phala sa pacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam Magga Phala sa pacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam sabhasatanam bhajimam. Itam no punyam sabhasatanam bhajimam. Itam no punyam sabhasatanam bhajimam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone.